Gears of War came out in 2006 for the Xbox 360 and became that Gears pillar of the Halo Gears Forza trio for Xbox. The game sees the COGs going up against... wait. Oh, I said COG, like the coalition of ordered governments. Weird.
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
Anyways, the game has the COGs going up against the Locust Horde, a race of monsters that emerged from beneath the surface 14 years ago. The game stars Marcus Phoenix being fetched out of prison because, to be honest, humanity is f***ed and they're losing pretty bad, so they need all the help they can get. He's busted out by his longtime friend Dominic Santiago as they find a way to stop the Locust. Shouldn't it be "and they find a way to stop the Locust"? Whatever. When Gears of War was launched back in 2006, it became the killer app for the Xbox 360 and would have multiple entries, including its entire trilogy, launch on that console. It's well documented that Epic Games is the reason the 360 has the amount of RAM that it does, since they needed it to have their vision realized. And because of this, RAM is also the final boss fight in the game. The more you know. The game is a third-person cover shooter with lots of gore and dismemberment, so grab a leg. It was mainly being circled and advertised around two specific features in the game, being the chainsaw gun and the curb stomping. The main weapon in the game is the Lancer, the human's assault rifle with a chainsaw on the end to take out locusts when they get a little too close. There's no gasoline mechanic, and there's also no way to melee when holding the weapon, since the chainsaw uses the same button. Curb stomping, however, is when an enemy is downed and you crush their head into the pavement with your boot. Finding your inner Ed Norton is mainly done in the multiplayer. The single player, you'll be alongside Dom for the whole thing, and have other members cycled in and out of your squad until it's eventually you, Dom, Cole, and Baird. Baird is kind of a dick the entire time, and this is basically Cole for the whole game. Speaking of the story mode, this might be one of the better paced games. Everything moves at a consistent pace while keeping you engaged in the combat encounters and story moments. You're broken out of jail and go through the tutorial. The first official level, you're introduced to Marcus's future wife. Ew. You get to know more of the game's mechanics while you're on the hunt for Alpha.
Possible KIA.
Possible KIA, my ass. Soon after, Kim dies, and you head into the first boss fight, being the first Berserker. You remember the mouse from the Xbox showcase? This is him now. After that is the Crow section, which basically means you gotta stay in the light or you'll be turned into minced meat. An awesome mechanic that doesn't really return to the series. At least not yet. You get the Junker and have a driving section, which kinda sucks, but it's short. Whoa. Then you're introduced to the Lambent Wretches in this factory area before making your way underground. And this is where you fight the big stinky corpser.
Stinky.
Stinky.
Easy fight once you know what you're doing. You detonate the resonator when the game does a fake out, making you think it's over. You head to Marcus's home, but not before killing a second Berserker. You then board the train, kill the third Berserker, and activate the light mask bomb, which ends the game. I mentioned the Lancer, curb stomping, cover-based mechanics, and some other stuff, but Gears also made some things popular, such as active reloading. This is the act of hitting the reload button and then hitting it again at a certain time to complete it early and get a damage buff. You'll see a little bar with an indicator show up under the gun in your HUD. If you nail the timing, the ammo count will flash and play a satisfying sound effect.
Absolutely fantastic.
This also gave you a damage buff in earlier multiplayer Gears games, but it no longer does. If you miss the timing, then completing the reload will take longer than if you never attempted it in the first place. Another feature Gears does that's kinda unique is splitting up your squad. A few times you can choose which route to take, which usually ends up with you and a squad member going a separate route, then Dom and another member. This can lead to one party having an advantage on the Locust to support the other squad, or unlocking and opening areas only they have access to. The game is great. 10 out of 10, would recommend. Only if Anya didn't look like
This was supposed to be like the gooner game for me, and now I can't goon in my goon cave, and it really sucks.
He saw the way she swung her sword and said, "Hey, could you come and swing my sword?" They hit it off and she left home to live with him, since he saw her as misunderstood and not some sort of curse like her father did.
Say it again, Dexter.